So number 11, find that slope. So you have x1, y1, x2, y2. So we're going to do 8 minus a negative 20 over 5 minus 3. A minus turns to a positive. So you get 28 over 2. Or 14. Number 12. y2 minus y1. x2 minus x1. So I get negative 1 over 32, or 1 over negative 32, doesn't matter. All right, guys, so what we're going to do today is a second set of notes with you on slope. We're going to go through the equation form that we went over last week and just really make sure you have a good understanding of all forms. All right, guys, so let's work together to see if we can answer these questions. The blank of a line is the measure of steepness or incline of the line. What do we think, Abby? Perfect. The slope. Okay? This equation is slope. If a line passes through two distinct points, then its slope is given by the following formula. So for those blanks, we're talking about the increasing or decreasing. So we want to talk about like the steepness. So if the number is positive, then the slope is increasing. So we can also say the bigger the number, the steeper the slope. So if it's a smaller number or a fraction that is small, then the slope will be less steep or more flat. So if we find the slope in this example here, x1, y1, x2, y2, plug in y2, subtract y1, plug in x2, subtract x1, 1 minus 3. Dominique? Good. A minus turns to a positive, so 2 plus 4. Good. Now, Luke, you asked me if I should make it a mixed number. I said we don't want to. Now, this one, you could simplify or reduce your fraction. So, Madison, what do you get? Perfect. So, reducing our fractions is okay, but we want to keep them a fraction. Okay, this is from last week. In the equation y equals mx plus b, what variable represents the slope? What letter variable? Y, m, x, b? Yeah, Abby? So the x actually represents a point on my line. So b is the y-intercept. So my slope, think about if you look up here, when I write that, what letter do I use? Yeah. Do you know why it's now? Me either. I didn't know if you knew. I didn't know if it had to do with physics or something. Okay, so if an equation is in slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b, the slope is the coefficient of x. We always relate it to m. So what is the slope of this equation here then? What's my slope, guys? What number? Madison? Excellent. And what's that 7 represent? Anybody remember what that's called? Okay, Abby, what's that 7 called? Yeah, that's my b value. And b has a special name because it crosses the graph at a special point. Zoe? Excellent. Okay, you guys did not like these when we did them on our quiz, so I want to review them again. It says, what is the slope of the equation below? This is currently in what we call standard form, so you need to solve for y. So go ahead and do that now. Solve for y. A negative divided by a negative becomes a 10 divided by 5. Excellent. So in slope-intercept form, that's this form here, it's called that because you see the slope, which is m, and you see the y-intercept, which is 2. So it's called slope-intercept form because you can see the slope and the y-intercept. Okay, if we have a graph, we talk about rise and run. Remember, the sun rises and the man runs. That's how you know it's the up and the down. Okay, the rise of the graph is what letter? What letter represents y? Rise. The rise of the graph is the change in y. The run is the change in x. So slope is rise over run. A line that goes from left to right. So if you have a horizontal line, what's the slope of a horizontal? We talked about that yesterday too. A horizontal line has a slope of what? So there's a horizontal line. What's its slope? Is it rising at all? Go ahead, Abby. So it's actually, the idea is that it's actually not going up. It's staying flat. So my y values aren't changing at all. So Madison, what do you think? Yeah, it's going to be 0 because the y values aren't changing. There isn't any up. So that's the case where you get a 0 over a number. Oops. Sorry, kiddos. They wanted that 0 down here. I misread what they were asking you for. Sorry. A line that goes up, I literally missed the word up. A line that goes up has what type of slope? Positive or negative? Landon? Perfect. And a line that goes down has what type of slope, Dominique? A vertical line or a line that goes straight up and down, like this, will have what type of slope? So no change at all in your x. If your x's don't change, that means you have a 0 in the bottom, and we call that slope what? If you have a 0, if you divide by 0, what do you call that slope, Madison? Yeah. So a vertical line has an undefined slope. So a line that goes up is positive. A line that goes down is negative. What's another word we could use for a line that goes up? What's that graph going to be doing? Dominique? Yeah, it's rising or increasing. Okay, so your homework tonight is some multiple choice questions so that, you can get better practice at multiple choice. I feel like it's been a while. Yeah? Oh, the value of n. I was like, what's completely arbitrary? That's what my multiple choice homework is not.
No.
It's just random.
It's just why they use the letter M for slope.
That's so random. I thought maybe there was going to be some sort of like Latin meaning behind it. Can you see it okay? Yeah, I thought I could see it okay. Well, Monday is a long day. We have lots of practice on Mondays.